All right, I'm on hole number 5 of the 2020 Community Cup. I'm in Monday's practice round in the Rookie Division, and it's been a great, productive day. I practiced with my odd account, and now I'm starting to put stuff together and learn from what I did in my practice round so that I can start to dial these holes in and prepare myself to qualify tomorrow, because I want to qualify this account tomorrow. And so I'm not, normally when I go into the qualification round, I'm still working on wind adjustments. But I know what club, what ball, my position. I know I'm going to use, even though I'm in mid club, I'm using a max number. I know what wind ring number I'm going to use. And now it's all about, adding on some wind or taking off some wind, or which side of the cup you're going to set the club up on, and trying to tighten that little bit up. But all the rest of the stuff I know by the time I get into my qualifying round. And it's been a really productive day. I've learned a lot of stuff. All right, extra mile, Kingmaker, 7 topspin. Now, I'm trying to end up in this range. My teammate Kyle today, he hit one out here. I think I was at 421, and he was at like 446. And he was in his wedge range up here coming in, and I was back here in my minimum short iron. And so if you want to make sure that you bring the appropriate stuff, because if you do end up in your wedge range, you could end up taking this with a wedge. But I'm going to, my goal, more than likely, my typical MO is that I'll end up somewhere in this range here. I hit this with my extra mile 8, and it had 6 topspin. I think that's what it has max, and I'm going to put on 7 topspin with this extra mile, just to see if I can pick up a little bit more distance. But I may not do that, because I'm in minimum short iron right now, and I really want to take the shot with minimum short iron. And if I was any farther forward, I actually don't know that I could use my short iron. I could, because I only engaged 1 topspin or 1 backspin, maybe 1.5. And so I could end up a little bit closer. So it's all distance related. If you've got lower developed stuff, go to the left. Bring a Titan, the king of balls. You can get out there really easy. Don't worry about trying to get in some optimal area. There is an optimal, in my opinion, there is an area out there that's more optimal than the other area, but you don't need to worry about that. What you need to worry about is just getting in the fairway out there, and it's more important to end up in the fairway than it is to try and get into another area that might give you a slightly better approach to the cup. Rapier will get it done. Here's one of the things I like about a rapier. This is why I'm always surprised when people go, oh, those rapiers are crap clubs, man. You need to be using an Endbringer. What part of this club is crap? Okay, maybe it doesn't have the greatest ball guide in the world. But what part of that club is crap? That is an awesome club. You can do backspin, you can do side spin, you can do, now normally you don't do side spin and curl, and you're not doing all that kind of stuff with your wedge, but you can do the hop-diddy hop that people can do with the Endbringer. You can do the flatten it out with the top spin that you can't do unless you have an upper developed Endbringer. There's all kinds of stuff you can do with it. It works. It is an awesome club in the bottom part of your bag. I'm going to bring a Hornet. I'm bringing it because it's 96% accurate, and I am not working on any more of my rares, except for my Rapier and my Nirvana. I'm trying to get them to level 8. The only rare that I have at level 8 currently that I'm trying to get to level 9 is this club right here, because at level 9 it gets 100% accuracy. And I'm almost afraid to do it, because I'm afraid that when it gets there, like right now, I know my numbers really well on this club, and that I might actually not like it when it's 100% accurate. Fear. Okay, and I'm going to bring a Kingmaker. One of the things I like about the numbers right now is I play my short iron. Its max number is 1.1, and its mid number is 75%. The way I play it, it's 75% more accurate than when it's at max, so it's 1.9. And then when it's at minimum, it's 2.2. And the 1.9 I like because I find myself a lot in mid club, and it's really close to 2, and it's really easy to do the math. And it's a pure number, 1.9. Whereas if I get it maxed out where it's 100% accurate, then it becomes 1.75. And that number may be, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to try it and see if that's too far. 607. Now with all the curl I need to put on there, 6 might be. I'm going to go 6.5. Fully extended, I'm blue ring off. I'm going to take the wind out because I don't want that wind to be a factor as the week goes on. So I'm going to take 2 rings out. And then I'm going to hit max curl. And I hit it like 700 rings great to the left. And where it'll end up in the rough is right out there. I got lucky. I actually over curled it there because I hit that thing at least 3 rings great to the left. The thing that I know is down there where I'm at in the rough, I could get on from there with a Nirvana. I'm not sure what other, you can probably get up from there with any rough iron because you've got this chute out here and you can come up and curl that sucker around to get it over there. You can also do a hook. That shot out there, if you've got a really like low developed stuff and you're in that area, you can do a hook shot up there and get it up towards the green. So I'm not too worried about ending up in the rough down there, but that was definitely not the shot that I was trying to take. So the first thing I want to do is let's see what we can learn from this area down here. So if you're down in this area, I'm in my short iron, and up here there's max short iron. So I'm right at max short iron. And this area here is a little different coming in at it, but this Hornet is an awesome club. I'm going to do a 10% wind adjustment. Be just a little over, so that'd be 2.6, that'd be 2.86, so let's say 2.9. There's 2.2, that leaves me 7. It's about a half a ring, so I'm going to do 2.5 rings. Trying to hit it perfect. Hitting it perfect. See if I can get it in the cup. Get in the hole! Just a bit outside. The way the wind was blowing there, let's see which way the wind was blowing. The deal is I'm not going to worry too much about the wind adjustment because see this little hump over here? Rewind that video and go over here to the right-hand side and see where there was there's a rise in the course. Where my normal landing zone is it's over there on that rise. And so I'm coming in at the hole at a different angle. And the way the wind was blowing, the wind pushed me off the cup. And I actually moved it over a little bit so that it was just barely on the left-hand side of the flagpole. And when I did the 10% wind adjustment from where I was at, I may have needed to do a bigger wind adjustment, but I know, see how the course goes up on that side and you're in a different elevation. And so I'm not going to make any adjustments to my shot, even though I was over there and I did the 10%. That's the thing about these shots is that when we're in tournaments, we're trying to dial in a specific shot, and that stuff hardly, it doesn't always translate over to one-on-one play because we don't have these set circumstances like we have right here. And I know that in the area that I normally land up in there, that 10% shot works because the last 3 times I've taken it from there, I've got an eagle. Although I did time out and then I got an eagle. But I know that area works. So when we're on that hole, you know, what your look at the cup is from down here versus there's a ridge right here and it starts to go up this plateau. And where my normal landing area is up here on that plateau coming in. And so because here I'm at max club and here I'm at minimum club. And so the adjustment that I make for here with the 10%, I know works. But when you're over here in a different spot, that 10% may or may not work. That's why when you watch me shoot these videos and I'm talking about, I always take, when I see somebody go, well, you're supposed to use 10%. I take that with a grain of salt. Is that 10% from here? Or is that 10% from here? Or is that 10% from here? I mean, where are we doing that 10% at? Because this is lower than this, which is lower than this. And so you can't tell me that the 10% is going to work in all 3 spots and that's what you need to do. You got to figure those numbers out for where you're landing. All right. That was hole number, what the heck hole was that? What's hole number 5? Was that hole number 5? I think it was hole number 5. Hole number 5 of the 2020 Community Cup and Monday's practice around the Rookie Division. Thanks for watching.